Now, Pauline Amos is an artist, and as one would expect, she paints pictures, but then there's more. She puts the painting on the floor on exhibition in a public place, takes off her clothes, lies down on it, and invites her audience to use her body as a canvas. Well, she's staging a performance in London this week, and reactions to her body will be filmed. Pauline, why are you prepared to expose yourself physically in this way?
I'm saying to the audience, I'm totally vulnerable, and I'm trusting that you are going to respect this. So I'm giving them the responsibility to be part of the work and also to look after what I'm doing.
But how easy is it to trust an audience, to treat you with respect? Because just once or twice, I think they haven't, have they?
Yeah, I've had a couple of situations where the performance had to be stopped because there was an aggressive moment, but now I have.
How did that manifest itself? An aggressive moment?
It was a moment. It was a performance where, surprisingly, a young girl came into the sort of performance space, and it was a time when I had to use gaffer tape because the gallery I was working in wouldn't let me use paint. And she got hold of a piece of gaffer tape and sort of put it onto my right breast quite heavily. So I opened my eyes because I'm lying there with my eyes closed. I opened my eyes and I looked up and it was a young girl. And I thought, that's strange. Now, why would the young girl do that? And then she did it again and the performance was stopped. And I wanted to find her later, not to challenge her, but just to ask her, why did you do that? And I don't know why. I think it is a provocative work that I do. It's challenging to people. Most of the time, it's a very sober performance, very serious, and people really respect it. But now and again, I think people just get affected by it.
Why do you choose to appear to be asleep with your eyes closed?
Because being asleep is the most vulnerable part for everybody in the day, and everyone's doing it. So I'm trying to make myself the most vulnerable position. I'm lying down, I've got my eyes closed. And again, I'm trusting that people are going to say, we'll look after this.
Now, I know that you've said that it's a sort of exploration into what art means, which arguably sounds a tad pretentious. What do you mean by that?
Oh, it does.
Only a tad pretentious.
Yeah. Well, for myself, I think I was sort of thinking, well, I'm doing the paintings and I'm totally exposing myself in the work that I'm doing. So is that what I'm trying to do? I'm saying to people, look at me, look at the work, look at the paintings. And then I put myself into the performance, into the paintings as a naked body. And how much more exposing can that be? So that's why I've put myself against the work like that.
Now, you say that there's nothing sexual in it.
Not at all.
How can you be sure that that is not in the mix for some of the people who come? I mean, there you are, a beautiful young woman lying naked on the floor.
Well, if it is, it gets stopped very quickly because really the sobriety of the performance, the presence of the work, I know it affects people, and there is no sexual energy from me whatsoever. I've never lay there, and you can feel the audience, you can feel what's happening. I've never felt intimidated by any men there or anything like that they are looking at me with a sexual view. It doesn't happen. I just think that the work, because beforehand I've done 20 minutes of making a painting, and then they start watching that, and that is a strong work that's happening. And then I become naked, and then there's no sexual provocation whatsoever.
We've worried for years. I mean, the feminist movement has worried for years about, paintings of Venus, and we've said, this is the male gaze objectifying the female. How do you get around that you're not putting yourself in the position where you are being objectified?
No, I'm not at all, because I'm trying to turn it around. I'm saying, no, here is my body. Value it. Don't undervalue it, and don't look at it as a sexual object. It's more than that. I'm a person lying here. This is the work. The work stands for itself. I don't think so. I think I'm really the means of production. My body, the means of the production, is the product by the end of the performance. And no, I'm not being sexually provocative.
In Moscow, I know that you were told that the audience was not allowed to actually paint you.
Yeah.
How did you get around that?
It was a very posh gallery, and they said we cannot allow paint in the gallery. So at the last minute, I thought, well, what shall I use instead? So we got a roll of gaffer tape.
Oh, so this was a gaffer tape.
Yeah, this is the gaffer tape moment, which changed the whole situation then, because of course the gaffer tape being ripped off rolls is very noisy, and it made the whole performance sort of stronger and more industrial feel to it. So it changed the whole. But every performance, every time I do it, it's always very different. You never quite know what's going to happen because you're in a different country, you have a different audience. I am different, so I have the materials around, but I never know what's going to happen. So you have to improvise. You have to be thinking and on your feet.
Now, I have to mention the fact that you made a splash in the papers about 4 years ago when you put a price of 1.3 million on one of your works, not one involving your body, clearly. Why so much?
Well, the painting, I'd worked on it in a 24-hour durational performance in Opera Piazza, which is gallery in Rome. So I brought the painting back to London to exhibit, and then somebody said to me, so how long did this painting take for you to make? And I said, well, 30-odd years of life. And then they said, well, how much is it? And I thought, well, okay, this is in 2005. I think the average wage was £5.50 an hour. So I did a quick calculation and thought, well, okay, it's 1.3 million. And so when I did put the painting into a show and I put that price tag on, it was hugely provocative. It was brilliant because I got lots of press from it and attention from it, and it made people very angry. Other artists were saying, how can you do that? You're not known. Who are you to put this price tag? So the price became the concept, which was a great moment.
And it didn't sell for 1.3
I am still
million,
renting.
Pauline Amos, thank you very much indeed for being with us. And the performance on Thursday night is at Ghost in Farringdon in London,
Thank you
which
very
of course
much.
is normally a nightclub.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Bye.